Here's something that will probably make you angry, and it should. The supplement industry has been collecting roughly $40 billion a year, much of it from men just like you, selling a product that, after the age of 60, stops working the way you think it does. I'm not talking about some fringe ingredient. I'm talking about protein powder, the thing sitting on your kitchen counter right now. I'm Marcus Reed. I'm 58 years old. I played professional football for 11 years. I've trained men over 50 for the last 2 decades. And I'm telling you, this is the single biggest mistake I see committed in the gym, at the breakfast table, and in the supplement aisle by men who are genuinely trying to do the right thing. They are working hard. They are spending real money. And their biology is quietly working against every single scoop. Here's the science. Straight up. After 60, your muscle tissue develops what researchers call anabolic resistance. Your muscle cells don't respond to protein the same way they did at 35. You can pour amino acids into your bloodstream all day long, and your mTOR pathway, the master switch that signals your body to actually build muscle, barely flickers. That's not an opinion, that's cellular biology. So here's what this video gives you. 4 discoveries that will change how you think about muscle, aging, and what your body actually needs right now. You'll understand the hormonal pathways that protein powder completely ignores. You'll get an exact protocol, not vague advice, exact sets, timing, and technique that activates your body's real muscle-building machinery. And at the end, I'm giving you what I call the force multiplier. One habit that makes everything else in this video 3 times more effective. Stick with me all the way through, because that bonus section alone is worth your time. 1. The mTOR blind spot. Let me tell you about Robert. 64 years old, retired engineer, took his training seriously. 2 protein shakes a day, 50 grams of whey protein for 3 years straight. He came to me confused and, honestly, a little defeated. His arms weren't growing. His energy was flat. He was doing everything the label told him to do. The problem wasn't his effort. The problem was his biology. Here's the mechanism you need to understand. mTOR mechanistic target of rapamycin is the central command system for muscle protein synthesis. Think of it as the foreman on a construction site. For new muscle to get built, that foreman has to show up, read the blueprints, and give the order to build. When you're young, protein alone sends the foreman running to the site. When you're over 60, protein knocks on the door and nobody answers. The foreman needs a different kind of signal. That signal is mechanical tension. The physical stress of muscle fibers being loaded and stretched specifically under slow, controlled resistance is what activates mTOR in an aging muscle cell, far more powerfully than dietary protein alone. This is why Robert's shakes weren't working. He was flooding a pipeline that had a closed valve. The precise protocol here is called slow eccentric resistance training. Here's exactly what that looks like. Pick a compound movement, a goblet squat, a Romanian deadlift, a chest-supported row. Lower the weight for a full 4 to 5 seconds. Pause for 1 second at the bottom. Drive back up for 2 seconds. That's 1 rep. Do 8 to 10 of those reps, 3 sets, 3 times a week. The slow lowering phase, the eccentric, creates the mechanical tension that turns the mTOR valve back on. Is this safe for older joints? Absolutely. And here's why. Slower movement means less momentum, which means less shear force on your knees, hips, and shoulders. You'll use less weight and get more stimulus. That's not a compromise, that's an upgrade. Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. Because mTOR isn't working alone, there's another protein, literally called myostatin, that's working against you. And most men have never heard of it. 2. The hidden brake on your muscle. Arthur is 70. He came to me thinking his knees were gone, his best years were behind him, and that the muscle loss he'd experienced over the last decade was just what aging looked like. He'd accepted it. He'd made peace with getting smaller and weaker. Arthur didn't have a motivation problem. He had a myostatin problem. Myostatin is a protein your own body produces specifically to limit muscle growth. Evolution built it in as a brake. Muscle is metabolically expensive, and your body doesn't want more than it thinks it needs. The problem is, after 60, myostatin levels rise. The brake gets pressed harder, and you lose muscle not just because protein synthesis slows down, but because your body is actively working to shrink what you have. Protein powder does absolutely nothing to address myostatin. Not one thing. What does? 2 things. Both free. Both available to you tomorrow morning. The first is progressive overload. Specifically, adding a small amount of resistance every 1 to 2 weeks. Your body reads increasing challenge as a survival signal. It says, we need more muscle to handle this. Myostatin drops in response. Not dramatically, but consistently, and consistency across months and years is how old muscle gets rebuilt. The second myostatin suppressant is sprint-style cardiovascular effort, not long, slow cardio that actually raises myostatin in some studies. Short, high-effort intervals. 20 seconds of hard effort, whether that's on a stationary bike, a rowing machine, or even a brisk hill walk, followed by 40 seconds of rest, repeated 6 to 8 times, 3 times a week. That hormonal environment, brief intensity, followed by recovery, signals your body to release more IGF-1, which directly suppresses myostatin. Arthur added these 2 protocols in month 1. By month 3, he told me his knees felt better than they had in a decade. Not because his knees changed, because his muscles got stronger and finally started protecting his joints the way they were supposed to. But there's still one more hormonal variable nobody talks about. And it might be the most destructive one. 3. The cortisol trap. David, 67, former executive, high performer his entire life, trained 5 days a week, ate well, did everything right on paper, but he couldn't hold on to muscle. He'd build a little, then lose it. Build, lose, build, lose. David wasn't lazy. David was chronically stressed. And cortisol, his body's primary stress hormone, was literally eating his muscle tissue. Here's the mechanism. Cortisol is catabolic. That means it breaks things down. In small doses, it's useful, it mobilizes energy, sharpens focus. But chronically elevated cortisol in men over 60 actively triggers muscle protein breakdown faster than your body can synthesize new tissue. It does this by degrading amino acid chains in muscle fiber and routing them to the liver for glucose production. Your muscle becomes fuel for your stress response. And here's the cruel irony, overtraining raises cortisol. So the man doing too much in the gym, grinding through 2-hour sessions 5 days a week, is destroying the exact thing he's trying to build. The protocol for cortisol management is counterintuitive. Train less, not more. 4 sessions per week maximum. Keep resistance training sessions under 50 minutes. Prioritize sleep above everything. This is where testosterone rises and cortisol falls. And add 1 daily practice of parasympathetic activation. 10 minutes of diaphragmatic breathing, a slow walk in natural light, or deliberate cold to warm contrast in your shower. These aren't soft wellness suggestions. They are cortisol regulation tools with documented effects on muscle preservation in aging men. David cut his training from 5 days to 4. Added a 10-minute evening breathing practice. Within 6 weeks, he stopped oscillating. He started holding his muscle, then building it. 1 chapter left. And this one is about the thing you eat, just not the thing you think. 4. Real food, real mechanism. The reason protein powder became so popular is because it's easy. I get that. A scoop in water, and you're done. But the mechanism of digestion matters more than most people realize, especially after 60. Whole food protein sources, eggs, fatty fish, lean red meat, legumes combined with rice, come packaged with something powder doesn't have, the full matrix of cofactors that support absorption and utilization. Leucine from a whole egg comes with fat-soluble vitamins that help shuttle it into muscle tissue. Omega-3s in salmon directly enhance the muscle protein synthesis response to amino acids in older adults by as much as 50% compared to amino acids consumed without those fats. The powder gives you isolated amino acids stripped of context. Your biology is not designed for that. Your biology is designed for food. The practical protocol: aim for 30 to 40 grams of whole food protein per meal, spread across 3 meals. The per meal threshold matters because muscle protein synthesis has a ceiling per sitting. Going above 40 grams in 1 meal doesn't produce more synthesis, it produces more oxidation. Front load your protein at breakfast. That first meal of the day is when your mTOR pathway is most sensitive. Eggs with salmon, Greek yogurt with added whole nuts, chicken and legumes. Real food, real matrix, real signal. Before the force multiplier, I want to ask you something real. Drop it in the comments below this video. What's your biggest muscle-related struggle right now? Is it building it, keeping it, recovering from training, or something else entirely? I read every response personally. Your answer might shape what I cover next. Tell me where you are. Here it is. The one habit that makes everything in this video more effective. And I mean that literally, mechanistically. Time your largest protein meal within 45 minutes of completing your resistance training session. That window is when your mTOR pathway, which you just activated through mechanical tension, is at peak sensitivity. The construction foreman just showed up on site. Now you give him materials. Whole food protein, ideally with some natural carbohydrate to blunt the post-training cortisol spike, consumed in that window. Studies show muscle protein synthesis rates are 25 to 50% higher when protein is consumed in the post-exercise window versus later in the day. This doesn't require a supplement, it requires a meal. Eggs and sweet potato, rice and grilled fish. Whatever fits your preference, just make it real, make it whole, and make it happen within that window. This one habit stacks on everything else in this video. It's the multiplier. Most men your age are still doing what they were told to do 20 years ago. They're buying the tub of powder because the ad told them to. They're grinding themselves into the ground because they think more effort means more results. They are following a blueprint that was never designed for the biology you have right now. You just chose differently. You watch this to the end. You now understand mTOR and what actually activates it. You understand myostatin and the two tools that suppress it. You understand cortisol and why rest is not weakness, it's a physiological requirement. You understand that whole food protein isn't a compromise, it's an upgrade. And you have the force multiplier that ties all of it together. That puts you in the top 5% of men your age who are actively managing their biology instead of surrendering to it. That's not a small thing. That's the difference between the man who's vibrant, capable, and physically sovereign at 70, and the man who isn't. Take the protocol, run it for 90 days. Trust the mechanism, not the marketing. I'm Marcus Reed. I'll see you in the next one. Your strength is not behind you. It's waiting for the right signal.